I have been researching a 1980 Iowa cold case, and something I just found recently made me submit a tip, but for a completely separate cold case. I have been researching the unsolved murders of Rose Burkert and Roger Atkison. They were brutally murdered in a Holiday Inn in 1980. Now, as I've been going through possible suspects in this case, I've been looking at Roger's wife, Marcella. Roger was having an affair with Rose. That is who he was murdered with. But I haven't been looking at Marcella because I am suspicious of her, but because her uncle just happens to be a serial killer. Now, Marcella's uncle's name is Charles Hatcher, and he was her dad's brother. Now, he has a very long rap sheet. He's been in and out of prison, and he has murdered multiple people, and he died in a Missouri State Penitentiary in, I think, 1984. Now, he was ruled out as a suspect in Rose and Roger's murder, but as I was researching him, I discovered that he used to go by a lot of different names, and one of those names was Richard Clark. And now, as I've been researching this case, I've been thinking, why is this sticking with me? Richard Clark, why does that sound familiar? Well, then one day, it hit me. It made me think of the unsolved 1969 murder of Dorothy Miller from Burlington, Iowa. If you're unfamiliar with this case, I did do an episode of it on my podcast, but she was a real estate agent, and on the night she was murdered, she was showing a home to her prospective client, and the next day she was found brutally murdered in it, and they never found the client. But a lot of people had seen him, and Dorothy's own husband had actually met this man before. And what did this man say his name was? Robert Clark. This was obviously a fake name, police believe. They never found the guy. They never found his truck that he was driving. He just completely vanished. But they did put out a composite sketch of the man. This is a sketch of the man who called himself Robert Clark. So Dorothy's husband provided details for the sketch, and so did a bunch of bar patrons who had also seen him. And so when I was researching the Rose and Roger case, and I look at Charles Hatcher, and I think Richard Clark, then I think, oh, Robert Clark. So I go and I compare the two. That is pretty similar to me. I mean, I know these sketches are pretty generic, like in general, but look at this. I mean, same hairline. You can see they've drawn lines on either side of the nose, and I feel like that corresponds to kind of the wider nose that he has. Now, the one thing that makes me think this is probably not him, his victim type was very different. Dorothy was in her mid-40s, I believe, and it seems like Charles Hatcher targeted younger boys and men, and he was, I believe, in California around 10 days after Dorothy was murdered. So that would be maybe a quick turnaround. But either way, I submitted this tip, and they said they'd look into it. And for anybody listening, no tip is too small. You never know what piece of information is what investigators need to crack the case wide open. So I just wanted to share this with you all. Let me know what you think about this in the comments.